Hi everyone, I'm Sandrine. Oh my god, Americ is not here again. I wonder if this has something to do with Theo. Like every time Theo is in an episode, Americ isn't here. But actually, he just hasn't gotten around to actually watching the episodes yet. So yeah, he couldn't do the review with me. But don't worry, I have a little surprise for you at some point in this video, so stay tuned. So this week we got 2 new episodes of Teen Wolf, and that's because next week there won't be a new episode because the VMAs are airing on MTV. So I'm gonna first start talking about episode 14, Face-to-Faceless, and then we'll move on to episode 15, Pressure Test. So, Face-to-Faceless. Quick thoughts. I thought the teacher kind of forcing students to decide who wanted to work with Liam was a little bit weird. Granted, I understand that they're influenced by the villain, but it didn't seem that the teacher was doing this maliciously. It just seemed like she was like, who wants to pair with Liam? And then it was like so awkward. And I'm like, you're like a terrible teacher to be putting him in the situation. Like, what is wrong with you? I just thought it was just mean. And then the episode opened with Aaron going to the morgue and like transferring the spiders from his body to the other faceless body. Why, Teen Wolf? Why? That was just so disgusting. Why did we have to watch that? And so at the same time, it does make you wonder quite a few things, because some of you had thought, and maybe Americ thought that too, that it wasn't really Aaron that we saw, and that the creature had just like, that was his body completely melted, and then the body had and then the villain had created this new body of Aaron, like it was a shapeshifter, right? Which I guess it is, because we find out in the next episode, right? So it looks like Aaron was really Aaron. He was just being controlled by those spider thingy, right? They're like a collective mind, maybe? Is that what it is? I don't know. But it was weird because he opens his mouth, and then transfers only the spider to the body, and then he dies? So first of all, why did he do that? So why did the spiders go into his body? Was it so that he looked like a student? But if the villain can shapeshift, then why would it need an actual student body to go into to do what it needs to be doing? And then why did it suddenly go to this like faceless, skinless body? What was the purpose? And who was it originally? I mean, so many questions. I'm just so confused at this point. So I guess this wasn't really a quick thought. It was like a long thought that got me very confused. So if you have any ideas or theories, let me know in the comments. Moving on to Liam. So now we had quite a few fun moments with Liam, starting with Scott trying to get him out of bed. Like Scott acting a little bit like his father, like you have to go to school. And then at school, Mason trying to reassure Liam, going like, they don't know anything. And then Corey arriving, they know everything. And then of course, all of that sort of leads to Liam ending up in the counselor's office, Tamora Monroe. And it was an interesting sort of face off, because for him she's just the counselor, but we know that she's not really the counselor, and he's slowly starting to realize maybe she's not just the counselor, and he's like, supernatural book, and then she's like being really weird. Okay. I actually really enjoyed the moments between the two, and Liam, you came from this lighter, I don't know if it would be lighter, but this kind of more heightened, like he's like, I'm running away, and then he's just kind of more composed and feeling her out a little bit, as in like, something up. In addition to that, Liam had some even more amazing moments this episode. I feel like this was a Liam episode, or at least he was definitely shining in this episode for me. You have the moment, of course, where Corey makes him invisible, and they were like hiding behind Mason, which I love the way they actually filmed that, because you start with us seeing Mason alone, so that's kind of what everybody else sees, and you're like, well, I guess Mason is acting weird. I didn't right away catch on to the fact that they were with him. I guess I forgot that Corey could go invisible, but just the back and forth of them trying to avoid the lacrosse team was really well done, and of course Nolan kind of throwing, I don't know, was it flour or white powder, whatever it was, to kind of reveal them. I thought that was a really cool moment. Which led to, for me, the best moment of the episode, Liam getting beat up. I did not like Liam getting beat up, but I did think it was awesome to see him having so much control, because we know how hard it is for Liam to have control. I don't think we've ever seen him actually stay in control this long. He usually loses his temper really easily. For me, this really showed strength of character, an evolution of his character. Even Mason and Corey were like, whoa, that was awesome, dude. I mean, you got beat up and you didn't wolf out. Awesome. Let's move on to Scott meeting up with Tamora Monroe to try and work out a solution. Of course, it's a trap, as Malia suspected. What I personally didn't love in that moment was the reason why Tamora became a hunter who wants to kill them all and hunt them wherever they go. I just thought, oh, okay, we went back to the beast, or La Bête, and that whole thing. And she's just blaming them for not thinking to look and figure out if people were still alive in the bus. So then they deserve to die? I mean, obviously, my explanation of this is that she is, again, under the influence of what did we call it with Americ? The fear monster, right? I guess we have a different name for it now, but the fear monster, it enhances whatever feeling she has. I'm hoping that's what it is, and it's just making her a little bit irrational, because I thought, really? That's why you hate them? Then again, I guess Nolan doesn't really have a reason either, so she was at least confronted to something. But of course, the best part of this whole meeting was Parrish arriving, jumping in there with a, what do we call this? A torch? Lightning torch? Whatever it was. And finding that faceless body, holding on to it, burning himself, and that was pretty cool. It looks like it didn't really kill it. I mean, again, I don't understand what this body was. Why was it faceless? Why was it skinless? Where did it come from? Who was it? And why did the villain, why did the spiders decide to go in it at this point? And why was it using that to do what it wanted to do? And then what happened to the spiders after the body burnt? Did I miss it? Did we see something happen? I don't know what happened. I'm so confused. So those were all the thoughts I had for this episode. So I'm gonna move on to the next episode, Pressure Test, episode 15. I just have one quick thought for that one. I really enjoyed Scott doing his alpha scream to have the two kids kind of showing him their eyes, and you realize that they're blue, meaning they've killed an innocent. And so I hope we start seeing a little more of Alpha Scott. I miss Alpha Scott. I love when he's just kind of like taking charge and thing, right? I think we need to see more of that. Next, I want to move on to talking about Theo, and that's where the surprise comes in. I'm gonna get Americ to react to Theo. He hasn't seen the episode yet, but he knows he's coming back. So since I know you guys always want to see his reaction to Theo being in an episode, let's do it. Look, Americ is here. Oh, you're cut off because you're...
Why am I here?
Okay, so Americ.
Oh God, I'm worried.
So, Theo's alive. How do you feel about that?
Seriously? This is why I'm here?
Yes, because I figured they would want to see a reaction.
Do you know, this is what makes me consider not having a channel with it. Right here, right now.
Wait. Come back. What if I tell you he gets punched in the episodes?
How often does he get punched?
Just once. So Theo's alive! And, you know, obviously America's not really happy about that. But, you know, he does get punched once. I mean, I didn't tell him he gets electrocuted quite a bit too, so I'm sure he'll be really excited about that. I actually really did love the scene where Liam punches Theo and he's like, by the way, I'm still working on my anger issues. And so since Theo is alive and free, he of course has to get back to Beacon Hills because, as I had mentioned in the review where, you know, we had first seen him, we knew that he was going to be alive because he was in the trailer in other scenes with the gang, which those scenes were in this episode. So Theo is back in Beacon Hills. And of course I have to talk about the sheriff's station and the standoff happening there between the sheriff and the deputies and the hunters. And in the station we have the Fear Master. Well, I guess I should call him Devil Face now because that's really Two-Face or Devil Face, right? That's the real name of the whatever that creature is. So At least one of them, or part of it, is at the station influencing people, making them go a little crazy. What I did find interesting is that the two deputies that were really affected by whatever it was doing killed themselves but didn't kill anybody else, which is the first time we see it having that effect. Usually they become violent towards other people, so and I'm just curious why in this case they felt the need to kill themselves, both of them. I'm also still trying to figure out how the whole fear thing happens. Does everyone get affected by it? And then the devil face focuses on one or two people that then makes them go crazy? Again, not really clear how it works. Of course, I have to talk about Scott's father saving the day, sort of, not really, a little bit, by stopping the standoff and taking the two kids with him, which I totally saw coming that actually they would end up dead, because I was like, well, how do you know you can trust wherever he's sending them? I mean, I don't think Scott's dad knew that that was going to happen, but it seems like it's affecting everybody, or you never really know who's with you, who's against you, and yeah, so they died, which sucks. So it looks like Devilface is influencing quite a few people. Now let's talk about them leaving Beacon Hills, but not really, because it was all a ploy, which, by the way, when Corey was telling Mason, no, you can't come with me, you know, I have to go alone, and Mason is like staying behind, I'm like, there's no way, like, how can you leave Mason behind? Like, literally his only friends are supernatural. I feel like he's like an honorary supernatural person, right? He should be able to go with them. So it was kind of weird that they would have left him behind. Was anyone like, how can you leave him behind? Anyway, it doesn't matter because they're not really going, obviously. Actually, I didn't see coming that it was all a ploy. I thought they were really leaving, but then we're obviously going to come back or something was going to happen. But no, I actually kind of loved the last line that Scott said to Mason, like, what did you think we were going to do? Run? That was so good. But I cannot end this without talking about Deaton, because Deaton is back. We got a couple return this episode, which was exciting. You know, we got Scott's dad and Deaton, but Deaton is the most exciting of the two, of course, for me. Deaton is back and he's researching this creature, which is why we now know it's called Devilface, or Two-Face. So he goes to Icon House. Again, why is it still running? Don't know. But anyway, he goes there. He goes in the cell of the Hellhound that was keeping the Devilface away or out of our world. And it seems like it's been kind of taken over by it, or it really scares people. It has kind of I think a similar effect as the body had on Melissa and Chris. So go Deaton for like staying in there longer than 30 seconds and grabbing that rock out. So anyway, we finally figured out what the creature is, sort of. It's an ancient shapeshifter, creature of disharmony, which uses fear. And he said that it was called Devilface or Two-Face. And he used another name, which I can't remember what it was. Was it Anukite? Anukit? Anyway, if you know what it is, let me know in the comments. Interesting in what they found out is that it's actually two creatures. So there isn't just one creature roaming around, there are two of them. And when they come together, they will be unstoppable. And it sounds like it has one nice face and one bad face. So is the, you know, faceless body the bad face, and then the nice face is maybe someone we know, character we've seen, or it'll actually be a person? And also, where are the two creatures? Why haven't they found each other yet? I mean, it's not that hard, right? That they would, like, how does that work? Then do they need to create mayhem in order to find each other? I mean, I don't know. How does it work? How does it come together? Where are the two parts? Why aren't they together yet? How do we stop it? Just, yeah. I don't know, but I guess it's good that we know we have a little more information in terms of what it is. So we're looking for two things. Are the spiders part of it? I don't know. What is up with the spiders? Seriously. Still have tons of questions. Of course, I would love to hear what you thought of those two episodes. If you have any theories as to what the Devilface or Two-Face creature is, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet so you don't miss any of our Teen Wolf reviews. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye!